Y'all know who it is, man. It's me and Pop, man. Y'all know we over here on this good old couch, man. Y'all support the channel, man. Get y'all a t-shirt. We here to stand on this business. If you got a particular set of business, we can put it on the back for you. Reach out, let us know. Let's get into this. So let's get into this real issue in our country. Let's get to it.
Lock in for a nigga.
Will.
You wondering why you ain't made it to the top and ain't got no motion because you won't lock in. Lock in.
Now that I am no longer a teacher, thank God, I can finally say the things that have been on my mind all school year.
Well, tell us.
As somebody that taught high school and basically educating our new young adults, we should all be scared. Every last one of us should be scared. These kids cannot read. They cannot write. There is no type of comprehension skills, no type of critical thinking. They cannot do anything on their own. They expect everything to be taught to them. Well, I won't even say taught. They expect everything to be given to them. So in my class, we did this thing where I made them write once a week. So they would have some type of assignment.
So quick interjection, right? And I told you this before. I didn't even know they had stopped teaching cursive until Azariah and Keyshawn was getting their first jobs. And I asked them why was they printing their names where the signature spot go. And I come to find out that the older three, it's the first time that they learned cursive. None of the generations after them. So just my older three, Maya, Tay, and Miles, and the only ones that know cursive. All my other kids after that don't learn it. I learned all this doing that, and then I learned even more when I switched your youngest grandson, Pooh, to the private school. Well, they still teach cursive. They still do phonics. They still do almost everything that we no longer do in public schools. So part of the reason why when she say these kids is like that, well, I done paid attention on what done happened with my kids. Right? So my middle kids got caught in the wash. Now it hurt Azzy because he did the dual immersion program so he could speak Spanish and English, so it helped him a little more on that front. But I mean, you still don't even know how to write in cursive. But I ain't gonna lie, I put that on me as a parent as well. Because I didn't know that our public school system had gotten so trash. I didn't realize we was pretty much teaching them nothing. Like, they watch a video pop, and if that kid can comprehend and learn, fine. If they don't, it's George Bush, no child left behind. They don't pull them aside, that we ain't working with them. If they stupid, we gonna let them stay stupid. So by the time they get to high school to her, she right. Well, you done spent your whole life and ain't nobody made you do nothing. Hell no, they struggling to read and write. Now, thank God my middle kids, and thank God my wife was, home when they was younger. All my kids can read and write and do the things they supposed to do. Shout out to Lila. But, it's still just crazy that the average person been dropping their kid off at school and you don't have a clue that your kid ain't even in class learning anything. Some of them don't even have homework no more. And I'd still blame that on us as parents, that we got to pay more of attention on what the public school system is doing, which is also, as I shoot it to you, why I didn't like the feminist movement as far as let's go and push women out here in the workforce and stop teaching our kids, because we know for a fact our kids are dumber now. That's a guaranteed fact. That's not even in question. I had to take my youngest and put him in private school so he could go back to learning the things that I realized he wasn't learning. And if it wasn't for him being what they call on the spectrum or whatever, that never would have came across my desk either. That part of me having to deal with him as a father is what led me to learning a bunch of things I didn't know, because nobody else has the issues that he got. So they all function just fine. And he's doing amazing over here in private school. It's been an absolute 180 in what he can do and what he couldn't do before he went over there. But these people ain't teaching our kids nothing. So you're right. They dumb by the time they get to high school. Ain't nobody taught you that the whole time. Ain't taught you nothing.
I'm gonna try to keep it short so we can continue. First of all, I'm gonna say this: when you talk about the hierarchy in schools, so and you said this before. So I'm talking about schools for a second, then I'm gonna go a different route. So part of the issue is that we don't have enough men.
Yes.
Okay, because here's what's real, and a lot of women gonna get mad about what I'm getting ready to say, and I hope you do. But men care more about kids than what women do.
Statistics say so.
And I don't care how many of y'all act like you want to get mad, but men care more about how kids turn out than what women do. That's also the reason why I got a problem when these child support and all these other things, when you turn around and you give the child, and we know the stats, you give the child to the woman and the child turns out worse. Why? Because men inherently, they care more about how kids turn out than what women do. That's just the numbers, and it speaks for itself. So when you take the men and you have more and more women in these schools, well, guess what? The kids is going to learn less. Why? Because the women don't care about the kids the same way that the men do.
Well, they're not going to stay on top of the kids either. They'll let their kids just do what they're going to do.
I was going there. You said it. So also, just like in the household, okay, the men going to stay on their necks more than what mama going to stay on their neck in the household. That's the reason why you need to have a 2-parent household. That's the reason why you need the men in the household. Why? Because the man is the one that brings that structure to the household. That's just what it is. And I don't care how many people want to try to disagree with me. That's just what it is.
That's a fact.
And the kids turn out better when there's a man that's in the household. Now here's the next thing. She's talking about the kids or whatever. You can't read, you can't write, and that kind of thing. And I'm like, hold on though.
Now, we know the majority of the teachers are female today.
Now, I just got done talking about the school. Now I also got to talk about the parents in this issue as well. Because here's
there ain't no excuse for them not to be able to read and write. That's ridiculous.
That's my point. And that, at the end of the
now,
day,
I can blame myself that I didn't know they took cursive out the curriculum. But my kids can read and write. They function just fine. 2 in college. You know what I'm saying?
There is no, from a parent perspective,
no excuse.
There is no excuse for your child to get to high school. And this lady being real, because we've done videos before that was like this, said the exact same thing. There's no excuse why a child can't read and write. What that shows me is how much the parents at home don't care.
Well, no,
that's what it shows
you
me.
What it also shows, we know for a fact that a lot of these kids are growing up in a single mother household.
Come on, and you know what
and it ain't even just going to sit out here to blame women. I want to point out that if most single mothers in this point in time is probably working 2 jobs. There's a lot of things with the upbringing of these kids that is going to fall through the cracks. Because she working to provide. She trying to keep a roof over their head. She trying to keep food in their mouth and clothes on their back. And so for me, I always say, this is why you should be with their daddy. And you should have got married. You shouldn't have been out here trying to be no baby mama. Because now your son dumb as hell and he can't read.
And you told yourself that you could do a better job by yourself. But as we know the stats always, but all the kids always turn out worse. Even in the school system. I'm going back to the school system. When you got all the women up in there that's educating the kids turn out worse.
Yes, and we do know it was a fact that the kids were smarter, less overweight in the whole 9. If you go back and look at early American history when we had more male teachers.
We had more males, that's right.
That's also a fact.
Where they would have to write at least a paragraph, meaning 5 sentences. 5 sentences. The amount of assignments that I got in with 1 sentence, 2 sentences, the amount of complaints I got with the whole 5 sentences, that's too much. Can we do 3? Isn't 3 considered a paragraph? Oh, baby. We are in for a wild ride, y'all. Every assignment that I gave them, I kid y'all not, every assignment that I gave them, there was several students that came to my desk and asked me to walk them through the entire assignment. The whole thing. But genuinely, the truth of the matter is everybody is failing these kids. Everybody. The school board, with all these different rules, they're failing these kids. The principals or admin altogether, they're failing these kids, and they're failing the teachers because they're basically telling us that we had to just pass a child along just to keep these graduation numbers up. So everybody, oh, and don't get me started on the parents. Like, I would call and say, hey, your child is failing, and the first thing is, well, why didn't I know about this? Probably because you didn't answer the phone. Probably because you didn't respond to my emails. On top of that, you have 24-hour access to Power School. When I tell y'all it is horrible, like, the parents that are here now are not the parents that we had growing up. My parents checked my Power School weekly. And still to this day, my brother just graduated high school a few weeks ago, and still to this day, his grades were checked. Everybody's grades were checked. So, unfortunately, it's not these kids' faults. I mean, yeah, they're lazy, but like, what are you supposed to do when all you got to do is tell your mama, well, she failing me, and the school board is going to accommodate that parent? Like, it's crazy, y'all. We should be very scared for our new nurses, our new doctors.
Hold on now. I got to go there.
Go ahead.
Guess what I did hear from her, which is the same thing that we get from the top down when you get these women. I did not hear a solution. See, when you got men that have these kids traditionally in those same positions, hold on now. I got to come.
Like my man from Lean On Me.
I got to come down my own.
Morgan Freeman and Lean On Me.
Thank you. I'm about to come down this street. My oldest son is a teacher, football coach. He coached PE and that kind of stuff, right? Here's the difference. When he run up against the kids, he turns around and he evaluates and he gives the kids solutions
to the problem.
If you notice, she didn't have anything that she had to say about giving the kids the solutions about them not being able to read and them not being able to write paragraphs. She didn't give them any solutions. See, when you take men in a lot of cases and you put them in that situation because they love and care about you and care about how you turn out, then they're the ones that'll turn around and they'll give you solutions opposed to just going with the status quo. They give you solutions on how we can be able to help you.
Well, one thing I will give her
that's what's missing.
Is also the parent part, because she
we said that minute.
So my wife stay up on that. So when if you late, once you're in high school, if you miss an assignment or whatever it is, Carrie, she do all the emails or whatever, and then she get with me, and then I got to get in your ass. And that's how I go in my house. She reach out, let me know there's an email from the teacher.
But why is that?
Said this assignment was missed or whatever. I get right in the house after work and I go to asking my older children, why you didn't have this assignment?
Why is that?
Get on the assignment, and whatever you doing right now, stop doing it. Do that assignment. Get it turned in, and then you can go and do whatever else you're going to do. But I'm agreeing with her. My wife do it from her end on the parenting, and she stay on top of it, and then I come in and I lay down the law.
Let's flip the script for 2 seconds. I'm going to take your wife in that same scenario. So let's just be real. I don't think it would be the same if you wasn't in the picture.
It wouldn't be. They run amok. My wife would tell you that. My wife would tell you them kids that they do what they want to do if it wasn't for me.
See my point?
She ain't, but that's the difference. That's why my wife married a man and she ain't stupid.
See my point? That's the point.
She already knows. She can't tell. It's 5 of them. It's 5 boys out of the 7. You already know that.
Right.
They can't control 5 boys.
No. But here's the point. See, the point is that you said a second ago, one of the biggest problems that we have is that you trying to raise kids without a daddy.
Yes.
At the end of the day, we got to go back to what, let's just be real. We got to go back to what the real problem actually is that we always don't want to talk about, because we always somewhere trying to give a woman a pass because of what she's actually done. You're the one that chose to lay down with a guy that probably already had some babies by somebody else, and now you are a single mom and you trying to make this thing happen on your own. And
Well,
you
'cause
said a second ago.
Kids need that discipline of the father. Sometimes you need to be told, hey man, go on there and get on your homework before I tap that ass now.
Absolutely correct.
Go on there and stop playing around and go and get it done.
That's my point.
Bottom line.
That's my point. So, and also, as you said a second ago, so you might be the one that might be having to work 2 jobs because you're trying to keep everything.
Oh, yes, sir.
Hold on, but let's just
Most
be
single
real.
moms are. You and I both know. Most single moms are working more than one job too. I'm from the block like you is.
But-
We've seen a lot of sisters.
Absolutely
And-
correct.
And that's how young brothers get in them streets. That's how he get outside anyway. Because he ain't got no supervision. She working 2-3 jobs, and so the only thing he sees is them streets.
And let's just be real. So once more again, I'm gonna go back to that same thing again. I said a minute ago. But see, the biggest issue that nobody really wants to address is the fact that y'all thought you could do how y'all want to try to
So
say
you
like
can
a
do what a
man,
man do.
right?
Yeah.
And here you are, but you laying down with all of the wrong men, and all you doing is creating problems in society, and nobody want to basically tell you the fact that you the problem. Everybody can call it what they want to call it to me.
Well, because
But let's
women
go back.
women choose who are born, so you are the problem.
That's my point.
You choose who get to reproduce and who don't.
You
So
the
if you laying
gatekeeper.
down with men. Go ahead.
You as a woman, you the gatekeeper.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't care what you try to say to me as a woman about these deadbeat dads and the men that's not around. You are the gatekeeper to that thing that you got between your legs. You are the gatekeeper to these babies being born. It is on you. Because guess what?
I always agree with you, and I don't disagree with you on that. My thing is that also, as much as it's their decision, because they choose, even the deadbeat fathers, man, like, damn, you want your son to just be out here can't read? Like, damn, you don't care he's stupid? You don't care she's stupid? You don't care either?
Okay, but hold on.
One of y'all got to care.
Hold on. Thank you. But let's just be real.
One of y'all got to care.
Let's just be real once again, because we've done the stats now. Let's be real once again. We only talking about a small percentage.
I agree. Especially in our community.
Right. A small percentage of men
Who making all
that
the
are
babies.
actually creating this problem.
That's a fact.
It's not the married men
It's a fact.
that's creating that issue. No. The problem is being created by a small percentage of men. Why? Because that's the guy that y'all want that D from. That's the guy that you sleeping with. That's the guy that you reproducing with. So let's just be real. You are getting exactly what you get with sleeping with that guy. Because he was never, here's the thing.
And we both know
No.
some of them is dumb as a box of rocks too.
Thank you. No, he don't really care
So he
about
ain't
the
even
kids.
passing good genes to your kids.
Come on now. No, he don't really care about the kids.
Yeah, man. He
Because
ain't even passing good genes to your children.
all he want to do is have somebody he can knock down. And once again, your problem is, I'm going back to the woman again. You going to let it run up in you. You going to let it run up in you raw. That's your fault. You can call it what you want to call it. But that's also your fault as well. So for me, I'm going to go back to the same thing. For me, all of this, it still goes back to the woman because I'm going to tell you what's real. There's a
Feminist
difference.
movement as well. We got to get back to the nuclear family being
Thank
number
you.
one.
There's a difference between being a single mom, okay? We know this.
And a mother with some help.
Thank you.
But
There's two
again,
totally different things.
But a lot of those kids are not turning out that way, right? A lot of those kids, when she got help, they're not turning out horrible.
No,
they're
they're
not
not.
turning out because she got a man still in their life.
Even though they ain't in the house together.
We grew up on the
Even though they in the
block.
house together.
Sometimes young men and young women gonna get out of hand if it's just mama and mama working 2 jobs.
Come on now.
Mama ain't in here enough to tell us to read nothing.
They need some straightening.
Right? Mama ain't home enough to tell her nothing. But you said, but they need some straightening. But I ain't got nobody here to get no straightening. Cause most of the time when mama come home, she work 2 jobs. She tired.
She died. She gonna go lay
She gonna go lay down. Get off her feet. She probably been on them all day. You know what I mean? So she ain't in here telling you to do your homework. She ain't in here to tell you that because she can't. She ain't around enough for that. Which is why we need 2-parent households and no more baby mama, baby daddy
I
culture.
renew everybody. These colleges are going to have to start lowering their requirements. They're going to have to start lowering the fact, or just lowering everything, because the way that stuff is going now, the amount of kids that are going to come into these schools and they cannot read, they cannot write, they cannot do anything without AI. We should be scared. We should really be scared. Have a great day.
Now,
What?
y'all should have edited that though. Almost like this as I wrap it up. But we also created that AI problem too.
We did.
You know, we can't sit there and give them ways. They can do everything easier, and then we're gonna expect them to do it harder. And I agree with what she's saying. You know, me and somebody has been back to college in the last 5 years. When I was in there, AI hadn't took off like that. AI done took off now. So I get what she's saying. Like, I still had to do my research, do my homework. I get it.
Yeah, you ain't gotta do it now.
But you ain't got to do it now.
No, you speaking to AI, it'll do it for you.
You, like you said, Pop, you can ask AI any question, it's going to do it for you. So, in defense of the children, we got to be real.
AI write a whole paper for
Come
you.
on now, Pop.
And then all you got to do is go back and AI write a whole paper for you. And then all you got to do is go back and change some of the stuff within that so it doesn't look like that it was AI generated.
And
That's all you got to do.
And you don't have to do anything else.
And turn it in.
That's it. So we can't blame them for using it. We created it. So we created that damn problem for these young people.
So did. I agree.
We brought that to their front door.
I agree.
Just like we the reason when we started No Child Left Behind. We the reason they can't read and write in high school. We stopped cursive. We stopped phonics. What was that one video that me and you was talking about when we first started our channel like a year and a half ago? Where the black woman became like the president or whatever in the school, found out like down in Mississippi, they had like the lowest numbers in America, and she took them to like top 10 by going back to phonics.
Yeah.
So we created the problem of this AI, they don't know nothing, you know what I mean? And we also created the problem of making them lazy.
Yes.
We created the whole problem of letting them have, that's what we did. That's what we did. We let them half-ass, and then that's how it turned out. I ain't gonna lie, I'm being honest. Most people, if they went and put themselves in kids' position today, back in school, you use AI too.
Well, absolutely correct. We're gonna do the same thing. No.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, to write a whole paper. You know, because we from where you had to do the research and write the paper.
Absolutely correct.
Like you said, they could talk into the phone, and the phone, the AI will write the whole paper.
That's right.
It's kind of hard not to use it when it's just right there, readily available
Absolutely
for you to go and hop on and just use AI to write a whole paper for
Absolutely
you.
correct.
I mean, like, knowing you need to pass this class, are you going to keep depending on you writing the paper, maybe getting a failing grade, or are you going to let AI do it where you know you're going to get a passing grade? Most people, and most people my age, most people that just hit our 40s, and everybody younger, if you put yourself back in these kids' situation, you probably use ChatGPT and AI too.
And you've heard me say this before, and I'm gonna say it again. For me, if you really want to know what the real problem is, follow the kids home.
Yeah, you always say that.
Follow them home. If you want to know where the real problem lies, then
I
go
agree with you on
home.
that.
Then go home with them. That's where you find out what the real problem is.
I agree with you. It's me and Pop. We over here on this couch, man. We over here on YouTube. Y'all come check us out.